Puberty hit Bill like a goddamn truck if that's a 6-year-old. I was swearing I was watching a JoJo show right now because the character design of Bill, this 6-year-old built like a tank prodigy, probably pro athlete, you would have swore he was the son of some JoJo characters, because here I was thinking JoJo with its 14-year-old lead characters who look like they're built like a tank and, you would swear they're 40 or 50. I thought that was pretty extreme. And then in comes Spy Family introducing someone who looks that age, that built, and I was totally expecting that this man would have like a child voice, but just built like this. So I love the fact that instead it's like this super menacing, like intense vocal performance, but in the brief moment that we see Bill's father, he gets into like this childlike innocence and you hear him call him daddy, and it just is such a juxtaposition that I was just completely left stunned. And I'm impressed, man. I did not expect to see a side character stick out as elegant as, Henderson would say, but leave it to Bill, man. I mean, I knew Anya wasn't gonna win. I knew, like, something would happen that would cause her to lose. I wasn't expecting something quite as simple as, like, she tries to do Yor's signature move, fails miserably, and not an intense throw, but just a little toss that knocks her out was pretty fantastic. But shit, man, like, I haven't had this much fun watching a dodgeball match since probably Hunter x Hunter when it had its insane dodgeball match over a handful of episodes there, but goddamn, this was insane, man, because even though it's so funny that they all were convinced they would get a Stella if they end up being the MVP of the match, the only one who actually got anything was Bill because he said die and in return got punished. But I love the fact that if, Damien and her would have just, like, kept their mouths shut, they probably would have got a Stella just because two people who seemingly hate each other came together, sacrificed themselves, but because they went back to their, second son's a piece of shit and I hate you and you hate me, they got absolutely nothing. But I think that's what makes Spy Family so fantastic, is you never quite know what you're gonna get. I mean, for an episode that started off with Yor training Anya, I mean, half of the time it was very simple, other times you thought, goddamn, she's actually training her to be a killer. And then it just decides to say, hey, here you were thinking something would happen with Damien and her or something like that. Instead, they say, oh yeah, something's gonna happen, but we're gonna introduce Bill the Bazooka over here, who literally are sending kids to the ER. And I love the fact that you have at the very least one person calling out the absurdity. There's no way that's a 6-year-old. That is a goddamn adult in disguise. Am I the only one who sees this? Or the fact that she calls out the fact that if we get hit by this, we'll literally die. I love the fact that for Anya, the reason she did so well for so long wasn't because of the teachings of Yor. It's just that she read into his mind and knew where he was going to throw. And even though she was shitting her pants with some of her like, oh my god, if I don't dodge this and I get hit, I'm going to die. But seemingly he's gonna, curve the ball, so I'll just let it happen. Was a pretty glorious thing to witness. But I mean, leave it to Spy Family to make an already impressive school dynamic all the more better. I mean, I love the fact that it's easy to forget their kids sometimes, even though physically everyone looks their age, minus Bill. But sometimes, like, the intensity of what they're saying, you can kind of forget and ease into them being a little more mature than they are. But I love the fact during, like, their intense preparation, like on the case of the two Stooges, because I'm not going to call Damien a Stooge, but I mean, his friends are another story. It looks like they're in a Dragon Ball situation trying to stop the giant energy ball. Turns out it's just a tire swing, right? Just like their childlike imagination is fantastic. And I love seeing, like, even if it was a brief moment, these two come together and, Anya, like, look at the second son as someone like, oh man, he sacrificed himself, so I'll do everything in my power. And then it just comes back to second son's a shithead, and just everything goes back to the way it was, because of course, these two, despite probably going to end up developing a crush on both sides, even though it's one-sided as it stands, Anya definitely wants to see him out of the school right now. It's pretty fantastic to see what they've been able to do with the chemistry and the character building and everything like that. Not to mention the production of this episode was fantastic. They used some 3D camera work at times to kind of like spin around the gymnasium, which was a really good added touch. But the overall intensity of this man, like, squishing the ball to then, like, building into a bazooka throw, it was terrifying, man. I was totally convinced at one point it was going to be revealed that he wasn't a 6-year-old and this was actually just, like, a man trying to infiltrate to make sure they're prestigious enough for the school. But then when you actually see his father, the fact that we can physically see how much taller he is to all these kids, but next to his father, he looks like a kid, so his dad must be 12 feet tall or something. Puberty hit this family like a goddamn truck, and you would swear they were a part of the JoJo family, the Joestar family, that is, right? Like, goddamn. But what an episode. Just when you think Spy Family can't get crazier, I mean, you know, you get Yuri and everything like that, you're like, okay, we know what to expect with this show. How the hell did I not see memes of Bill before this show started up? I don't know. But Bill's going to be everywhere after this episode, mark my words. I wouldn't even be surprised if he somehow manages to trend. And I mean, this is what I love about this show, is that for the past couple of episodes, Anya's been a bit more on the bench there. She hasn't been as much of the central focus because, well, I mean, the parents are going to naturally lead the story more often than not, given that they are the driving force, the spy, the assassin storyline. And a kid going to school isn't always going to be the most exciting thing. Often it will, given the volleyball or the dodgeball and everything like that. But it's not going to always be the central focus. And I like how they're able to blend these three separate storylines so well. Sometimes they're all part of the same situation. Sometimes it's Lloyd and Yor. Sometimes it's Lloyd and Anya, Yor and Anya. You know, just they know how to make this family feel like they have their own lives going on. And even as fake as they all technically believe it is, they just come together in such a way. Even if maybe Anya doesn't think Yor teaches her anything of worth, at the very least, she is being a mother to her, as violent as her teachings may be, or at the very least, the reference material for her killer throws. It really does come from, you know, dismembering body parts, and it's kind of frightening. But man, Spy Family I really don't think it has a bad episode, or a bad moment, or an element that you would want to remove it. That's why I'm already excited for when the show comes back in a season's time, because Spy Family it knows what it's doing, right? It just feels like one of those shows that I could easily watch a couple hundred episodes of and probably still have the same grin on my face as I'm still questioning how the hell Bill fit into this world. But bless Bill. He can never return. I can never see Bill again, and I'm always going to remember this match because it's that insane. It's that Looney Tunes, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And I mean, given some of the side stories, I'd be completely okay if Bill got an entire episode just dedicated to his upbringing, even if it was a more serious plotline. You know, it's one of those things where you need to see more of him. He's so intense. He's so in your face about everything. But in the face of his father or in the face of defeat, he sinks down into a child and you can see that 6-year-old pop out. But goddamn, like, I'm just imagining him sitting in the classroom in those small ass desks. He has to scrunch his legs up because he can't actually sit underneath there, or they actually developed a desk that would fit his physique. But goddamn, like, Bill is such an anomaly in this world. Despite the insane personalities, I just wasn't expecting that character design, and the physical gags just write themselves. You don't even have to give him another speaking role. Physically seeing him in the background is going to leave me rolling every single time, and I need more. But if it was a one-and-done moment, I mean, thank you, Spy Family, for delivering. You know, there's a couple of sweet moments. There was, you know, the death moments, the sacrificing yourself when really, you know, you just got hit in the face with dodgeball there. And just, I don't know, man. This show never fails to impress me. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a 10 out of 10 if you ask me. But thoughts, if you have any down below, leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new around here. Till next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.